It's the Pichu Nanchuk. Out of Date says there'll be consequences of the war, but there are more pressing matters at hand. The last World Eater has been left undisturbed with the tree while you focused on the war. He guessed someone with your dark perspective and key would prioritize resolving the tribe war before facing the World Eaters. Regardless, Out of Date is grateful the tribe war is over. Out of Date understands the road has been rough, but you already know what's left to end this journey, and it'll be tough. You're the only one that's strong enough to face the last World Eater. The New World Order can only be achieved by someone with a dark perspective, even if that means letting the final World Eater attack the tree too. Only time will tell what the future holds, and if it will bring a lasting peace for those that make it to. What you've done so far is spreading. The tribes haven't lost hope yet. He appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately, he's had urgent news from his friend Wiz in the northwest. He knows you're good-hearted enough to give Wiz the support he needs. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Wiz and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's hunch is real. The Merc Puff is up next. Out of Date says that Wiz is worried now that the Northwest World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Wiz is working on an undersurf vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done. Out of Date suggests that you should head northwest as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He's happy to help. Says talking to you was interesting. Oh, you get used to the beastly smell, I hear. Such a bright day to wander around in. Watch out for you. The Surge Surf Factory. Keep your eye out for Wiz while you're here. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days.
Mai?
Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod. Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go. But says it helps to have friends with you to plumb those depths. He set up camp at the foot of the Tree of Life. It's gotten more difficult for it to find defenseless prey, as it's already eaten most of them. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what.
Veio palam uskos.
He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, you can always lay your own course.
Tirampambai avaruku.
He feels you've deserved revenge because of how you were wronged. You've suffered enough to make him pay.
Nothing shines like the dark. Oh, no, wait. Oh, well, you know.
You can't trust the dark.
Can you see how dark sets you free?
It's not too late for you, is it?
Hello, darkness. That's me, your old friend.
Alikan rato.
Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate?
Kalai arontun.
Glad to hear that. He only wishes he was that sure about himself. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent.
Kapining kai kalai.
Wonders why you felt like kicking the world so hard when it was already down.
Inya meri petikalo alakantia.
Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. They have a rainbow of ways to approach any problem.
Kandan ishnafov.
Says they're unified in the ways that matter.
Aumandakan.
But that's not nearly as important as this.
Aumandakan.
Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths. But there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Merc Puff.
Jedum.
This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-go-in.
Ambatia bomba.
He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up mecha Fingro in the mecha stadium that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister.
Palakumpiaf perukan.
It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxanol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. Someone has to end this plague before it's too late. An old home. Could be something to it. Try to be friends with the beast. That's the hut. Wonder if there's anything still inside. You found a bric-a-brac that's not absolutely flat. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. Not opening for you. Nothing simple. It's locked. Locked, but good. Fate is funny that way, but it won't always make you laugh. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. That's too much distress. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. As long as karma exists, the world changes, and we change. He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need something slick. He agrees that it's an option if you want to break stuff, but in this case you want to keep things intact, so it won't leak once you get undersurf. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo-Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The Merc Puff is crunching bark by the minute. Wiz heard he's currently stranded at the end of the line, so it should be easier to track him down now compared to when he's running rails. Bye in the dark. It's a fine way to ride. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo Choo here. Choo Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him. Wonders who doesn't like rules or rails. They keep you on the straight and narrow and bring you right where you belong. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? He thinks you're on a dark path right now, but there's no reason you can't find a wheelhouse and get yourself turned around. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them, and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on? Thinks everyone has. No one's perfect every time. Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again. Says the world might have lasted longer if you hadn't stomped on the go pedal so hard. But let's not get derailed. Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out. But sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to figures that's true, but they can get you close enough to most things for most reasons. You can stumble along from there. He's convinced the tracks are like the paths our lives take, and you must deal with the outcome, even if you didn't lay them yourself. This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track. Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugga-chugga out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him. Says you're just like he used to be, a one-track mind, but going the right way.
Run, Dark, run!
It's not a race.
You only say that because you're losing.
That doesn't mean I'm wrong.
No, there are lots of other reasons you're wrong.
Stories keep moving whether you drive them or not. Make sure you don't walk off a cliff while you're night blind. The Wingnut Chug Tunnel. It goes on forever. Odd things lurk in the darkest parts of the underworld. That's not going to heal well. You need to show your mount who's boss. That's a putty-upper plaza. Some were actually trying to build something before it all started to end. Choo-Choo says he knew you'd come through. If someone makes a stop at your station, it's for a good reason, but he understands no one gets their tracks greased for free. He'd be happy to part with his spare grease sprinkler, as he believes it's a great fit for any of your business that needs to be unstuck. He keeps it safe in a box on the handcart, in case of emergency. It's on the cart. He wants to keep it close by. In general, you won't have much time to act in case of an emergency. Choo-Choo says you should help yourself to the grease sprinkler. It's a versatile tool from the bygone, a last of its kind, so don't let it go to waste. He's convinced you'll put it to good use, as there are lots of stuckies out there that need greasing to open. Seems glad you think so. You're on the right rail. Choo-Choo says he can't wait to get out of this place. Understands completely. You shouldn't worry about smashing up the box. Choo-Choo has no use for it now.
Why?
Choo-Choo says he feels strongly about helping his next, just like you did for him. He's convinced there was a bigger reason you met. Sometimes the wrong train will take you to the right place. He believes you've got what it takes to make a difference. He's witnessed it himself. Figures everyone chooses their own path. The longer you ride the rails, though, the easier it is to travel with friends. Choo-Choo's thrilled you found the Ark. Just imagine how much faster than a chug that thing must be, and no rails needed. Needs no rails, no roads, nothing but air. The world's on the mend, so no need to leave it. But just think of all the places the Ark could take you. Hopes you'll be careful with the Ark. That's the last one around these parts. Wonders who you might call aboard the Ark with you.
So what we have here is someone looking for a way...
I'm so glad you chose that. We're born alone, we live alone, so let's not meet the end on our own.
We are better off on our own alone. Everyone else are just means to an end.
Being alone is not the same thing as being lonely. And now we don't have to be lonely. It'll all work out in the end.
The end must justify the means. So let's hope the Ark is strong enough to carry us all into the future.
Wishes he could go with you, but he couldn't bear to watch what you do with the Ark. Choo-Choo says he's ready to pack up and leave.
Comment ça peut être pas tard?
Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. This land has never known winter. Wiz says that there's no plan to confront the Merkpuff until the octopod is properly armed. He knows you'll need something that packs enough boom to put a dent in that shell, or better yet, head. Pyro sticks will do the trick. He says his old friend Boom makes all things that go bang. There's a rumor that some of Boom's pyro sticks shot off and are out there roaming free. You should keep an eye on the horizon for pyros. If you're fast, you have a shot at catching some of them before they go off. He's a peculiar little fellow that's been fiddling with Splodies since he was a kidling. It runs in his blood. Their family recipes pack a punch. Next time, bring a life preserver. Time to upgrade your clothes. This is high fluting, and there's an upgrade bench floating up there. That's a bang plant, where Toxanol used to make all sorts of splody things before it blew up in their faces. put one through a heart. It's time to create your own path. That looks like an... The pyrosticks will cause a bang, but targeting is on you. At least now you have a chance to hurt the Merc Puff where it counts. He hopes so, as Plan A was to take on the World Eaters by foot, or flaps in this case. Turns out swimming down there was a bad idea. Wiz has been working on another cannon, but instead of pyrosticks, it squirts guppos, scaly distractions for anyone with an appetite disorder, and irresistible for the Merc Puff in particular. Seems the best way to find guppos is go talk to Gil. He has a natural sonar and knows where the guppos sub the surf. This means you'll have to go visit Gil at Burblebottom. Find Gil and he'll be able to... Guppos are lively beings and they're fast too. They're here, there and everywhere. Or at least they used to be. Heroes inspire in a way nothing else can. It's flat out black out there. This is Burblebottom, residence of Gil. Happy to finally get to meet you. He's seen a lot of things wash up on his miniature.
Not to worry.
Claims to have been born swimming, but he must flap-flop clear of it during these dark days. It must have been upstream only to get to this point in your histo-future. But which way are you going now? With the flow or against? Once you see which way the waters flow, it's a lot easier to go where they're going, even if that's over the edge of the world. Either way, it's a shame the surf has gotten so nasty. Thinks life is like trying to ride a wave. You need to pick the right one, but you don't really know which one that is until you're on top of it. Better to... Wonders who would want to. The right wave takes you where you want to go. Can't imagine how wonderful it's going to be to surf on gooless goo. The world is going to live. Doesn't understand why you made the goo gooier. Happy you ride alongside the Myriad. They bring a real shine to everything they work with.
Fest and trip.
Thinks that's an excellent point. Riding is life. Work is not nearly as fun. But none of that's nearly as important as enjoying the day, right? He never drank from this pond because of the disgusting things done there. Even the fish stopped drinking here after the pollution made the surf mucked and the air blocked his gills. He figures the Tree of Life isn't drinking either. Or, well, that's not true. He said it does drink, as it has no other choice. It's a tree, but it's forced to drink poison. Figures you're right, but that doesn't mean he has to drink that. His friend Wiz needs guppos for one reason or another, and Gil is ready to point you in the right direction. But here, you're only going to find dead ones. He's pretty sure Wiz wants them alive. Well, at least the ones that aren't already rotting. If you head in the right direction, you'll find a clean enough bit of surf to snag yourself some guppos. Then you can get them to Wiz for whatever he has in mind. Figures he's always been a friend to Wiz, and now he can be one to you, too. You need to point its face in the right direction. need a key. You seem better. Sky's getting grayer. That's shutting good. That's not opening on its own. Relax. Everyone else around here won't. That seems to be enough guppos to provide the octopod with infinite ammunition. He's surprised the Merkpuff's been able to hold its breath all this time. It's just another proof of the evolutionary change caused by Toxanol's contamination. Being undersurf has meant the Merkpuff has been left alone to munch on the root down there undisturbed. This means the northwest route has suffered more damage than the others. The marks the corporation left behind on the land are everywhere, but they also abandoned technology of which he's sure you only found a fraction. That was the last of them. You've sealed the fate of the tribe and the tree. It's time for the end game. You have your destiny. Follow it all the way back to Out of Date. He never told anyone about what's next, but he's sure it involves you. Just make sure you don't let anyone but yourself control your destiny. You've come too far for that. The tribe comes first. It's time to return to the tree one last time. Every bit of your gear is soaked.
Farfarifyo, tuka kubu.
Out of Date says the signs of the end of the world are everywhere. It seems nature is preparing to take revenge.
Cantita duela bofo.
The day of reckoning is coming, and you are invited. He can feel you're approaching the end date.
Bebuko contabe.
If you haven't decided whom of all like-minded, dark-souled beings you've met have earned a seat on the Ark yet, it's time to do that now.
Yowo tulua.
Then grasp your last chance to make sure Lupa Lupin's stopped for good. The tree settled its score, but it left yours half done.
Ewe bobuye.
He says you need to see Lupa Lupin eye to eye one last time.
Mpa, wherefore, whereway.
He's happy to help.
Ugambun ang ugagad promo wufu.
Hopes to see you again soon. Is your mount paying attention? The Sifu is seeking revenge too. He hasn't forgotten what Lupa Lupin did, but he also wants to stop him from attacking his tribe. That the world seems to survive doesn't mean he must. He hopes you agree. It suits your dark nature. There's no room for predators in the world the Myriad tribe is building. But he knows this is your fight. You should handle it. Lupa Lupin's own fear was his shackles, not the roots of the tree. It just changed him. You have a chance to stand back and let the tribe handle it. The Sifu is ready to step into the fray. Are the odds about to change in your favor? If a friend dies, something inside you dies. You can save the Sifu by making yourself a target. You're up. Shockwaves spread when the world crumbles. This is not a prophecy, me telling you about the future. It's you shaping it. Here's a vulgar display of power. The more he does, the stronger he becomes. It's time you remember who the real enemy is and stop playing the game his way. This is how it ends. The Predator and the world itself suffering. But at least it's a sign they're both still alive.
So, what we have here is a clear matter of life and death. And only you...
Ruining someone else's life for revenge comes with a price. There's no change of heart this time. I hope it was worth it.
Change of heart? There was only ever one way this choice was going to be made. The right one.
The right choice. Doing good and keep doing good all the way until the end would have been best.
The best? That's justice. And the justice we deserved was revenge. We got what we came for.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us. There's no peace without forgiveness. It's no better time than now to accept a helping hand. Do you wonder what turn life might have taken if you'd done things different? A left when you went right? A yes when you said no? You've walked the thin line between survival and disaster and haven't lost your balance yet. It's because of you the Tree of Life and the world has been given a second chance. You carried the light in a world full of dark and made a difference in a place that needed change. You allied with the Myriad tribe and acted on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. However, light and dark does simply represent the polarities of life. One can't exist without the other. This isn't the end. Just being surrounded by nature as it heals itself will rejuvenate us. Nature will teach us how to survive. So, trust your conscience to show you the way, and everything else will follow. As foretold, you were destined to split the chains of this world. But you're not alone. The few that shared your perspective and gained your trust will accompany you on your journey. Is there a world out there that's better suited for those imbalanced in their dark nature than this one? Whether or not, we'll leave your story on record, so those who come after will know you helped save the world, despite your dark nature. So, when all is said and done, it turned out to be an unusual ending after all. What could be better than ending the story the right way? Ending it your way. A beginning.